I know there's a lot of people in here now that are recently out on Wendy. So what I'm going to say is, when I'm done saying what I've got to say, you're more than welcome to jump in a box afterwards and have a say on her because Alexa, stop. Um, Katie was the first person I think to out Wendy when it first all came out. She set out what she was up to. That's when I jumped in the bandwagon when I realised what was going on. And this is going back, what, 2-3 years ago? How long since you've left her, James?
Yeah, 2 years ago now.
Yeah. And I think we followed it for just under a year. And I've got to be honest, in the last year or so, because I've been blocked by Wendy, I haven't really been following her. So I've seen a couple of the outing pages, and I respect what you guys are doing because we just need to get out there. You know, I've outed other people for it, and you know, like I've said, I did speak out on Wendy as well. So I applaud you for what you're doing, and it does need to be put out there because there is a lot of vulnerable people on this app, and the more you get the message across there, the more you're saving people from sending them money. So let me go back to the beginning, okay? I first met on TikTok. I become friends with James. That's how I met Wendy. I sent her money as well. And during this time, Wendy was making out James was abusive towards her. And I fell for it, you know, I was trying to give her ways that she could get out and that she needed help. And then Katie come out and outed her for being the scam artist she was, for the stuff that she was doing, the holidays and that they'd all paid for, and all the money that she'd taken then. And I know there's been a lot of talk about James at the moment, but what I can say is I've known James this entire time, and he's also a victim of this. He was the one actually being abused. Now I know, James, and I'm going to apologise because I know there's a lot you've said to me in confidence, and if I say something I'm not meant to say, I apologise in advance, because usually when I do these sort of things, I do say to people, if you want to talk to me, it is in confidence and I will only speak on stuff I'm allowed to. But this has been going over a few years, so James, please do stop me if I say something I shouldn't say.
No, you're fine, honestly.
I can't remember what I can and I can't say, all right? But I think there's a lot that does need to be said because I think people have made a few assumptions, which, to be fair, you know, I know in the past they have done, and I don't want to cause any hate. It turned out Wendy was having an affair. She moved a guy in, and James got kicked out. He is still 2 years down the line homeless, and he is living in temporary accommodation. As I said, I'm leaving holes in the box there. Kept in regular contact with him. I've even had video calls with him and his son when he's had contact with his son. And this dad will bend over backwards and do what he can. He also fell victim to Wendy's scams. When he first got made homeless, I had to sit and chat to him about his benefits. Wendy had been claiming them and lying about them, and I had to try and talk to him and explain to him how to get them put into his own name. He had no idea the money that was being taken out or being sent to her and the stuff that was actually going on, and he was quite thrown by it. He has had his life turned upside down. Is there anything you want to add to that, James?
It is, I mean, you know, as easy as it is for me to go on and say, you know, yeah, that's exactly how it is, you know, it's one of them things, you know, if a guy ever turns around and says, oh, you know, I was, you know, mentally abused or whatever, you just get laughed at. So, you know, things don't get said. Things, you know, I've kept quiet all my fucking life about things. And, you know, it's come to the point where now I'm getting, you know, painted with the same brush as Wendy. You know, I've never ever been that kind of person, and I never will be that kind of person.
No.
And, you know, it's fucking, it hurts. It really does. Because, you know, why should I be tarnished with that brush? Like, if someone's got anything to, you know, to show me evidence-wise, put it on. I'll quite happily put my hands up if I've done something wrong. But to get the hate I've been getting without anything being thrown forward and showing, you know, what I'm supposed to have done, you know, how am I supposed to feel about it?
And James will happily tell you that Wendy is a scammer and what she's done is completely wrong.
I don't, me personally, I don't want to talk about anything to do with her. But obviously, for this case, if someone's got questions, or whatever, I'm quite happy to say yes, no, whatever, and give my opinion. Obviously, I don't agree with anything that she's doing. And that's what that's where it is. So I don't agree with anything that she does. But I could tell her till I'm blue in the face, and she won't stop doing what she's doing because she doesn't listen to a word I say. She never will. She never will. She never has. She never will. And that's kind of why I don't get involved.
She's just money obsessed. She's money orientated. That's all she cares about. And I know full well, given the chance, James would try and get full custody of Blake, and he would care for his kid. But the thing is, with it being in temporary accommodation, he's not even allowed to have his boy in there, not even overnight. And now Wendy, I know she's gone through homelessness and had to move away. It's made it a hell of a lot harder for him to have that access to his son. And I know a lot of the people that have been out on Wendy lately have wanted James to go in and speak out on it. But Wendy,
you've got no idea how much I want to do that. You have no clue.
He really does. And I mean, if anyone's got any evidence, I know because, is it Gerard? That people have come forward saying that he's been abusive towards the kids.
Jareth.
Yeah. Then please do send us the videos because James could use that with social. Especially when he gets a place. He does want to protect his son.
Thing is, my problem is I live so far away. I don't drive. I don't have an endless supply of money to be able to get down there and stuff 2-3 times a week. It's impossible. And I'll only ever know what happens if she tells me something happens, and she's not going to tell me if anything bad happens. So, unless I'm sitting here watching her TikToks 24/7, which obviously I don't want to do. I want to move on with my own life. How am I supposed to know anything that's going on? And then, the amount of hate I'm getting for not getting involved and not doing this, that, the other because of what Wendy's doing. I'm like, but, where do I stand? Where do I stand? I've phoned social services a number of times myself. And all I get told is, we'll get someone to give you a call back. And that never happens. What can I do?
Sending it to social services, it all helps. And I know full well, if James does get a place, he is going to try and get full custody.
I mean, if anyone wants a character reference, Tay, if you want a character reference about me, honestly, ring Blake's schools. The schools that he's been to in the past, and speak to your teachers. Speak to the teachers there. They'll give you everything they want to know about me.
There's also the fact, I know a lot of the pages that have been out in Wendy, and like I said, I applaud them. I'm not trying to give them any hate or anything like that. What she's doing, it does need outing. I know they've wanted James to come up and speak, and he's refused to do that. And I guess that's why he's looked a bit guilty. But what they've got to do is look at it from James's point of view. Wendy's seeing this, and if she sees him speaking out about her, she makes it more difficult for him to see Blake. And where she's moved away, it's a lot more difficult. How far?
It's not that she makes it more difficult. It's not that she makes it more difficult. It's the attitude that comes with it, and it's then, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? The more trying to control my life again. She controlled my life for God knows how many years, and she thinks it's all right to still do it, and that's the problem. I'm my own person now, and it's things like this that make me want to just go, fuck it, I'm growing up, and, fuck everyone, sort of thing, and I'm not that sort of person. But, it seems like, I'm getting painted out to be the bad guy, yet I've done nothing wrong. And that, it just winds me up. It just annoys me because, if I've given anyone any fucking reason to beef me or, take a piss out of me and stuff, then, fine. But I haven't, and that's the thing. Tay, Leanne is my ex-partner. I got with someone about a year and a half after Wendy. And Wendy was partly to blame to that relationship breakdown as well. Which, obviously, I'm not happy with, but that's another story.
James, the fact that you've been, it's been said that basically you're neglecting the child, I'm going to put it that way. When it got come out about Wendy having the affair with Dave, what background checks did you do on Dave?
Well, as soon as I kicked off straight away and said, he's not living there unless you get a Sarah's and Claire's door done, so I want to know everything about him. I did my own homework. I found out his name. I found out where he used to work, where he used to live. I made calls to his ex-bosses and stuff. I wanted to know everything about him that I could possibly know. And she didn't want to tell me anything to start off with. But I said to her, look, I'm not being funny, but if he's done something wrong or he's one of those sort of people, I'll quite happily, do something fucking stupid. But, I'm not that sort of person, but I will do what I can, digging-wise, to find out that my son's safe. And that's all I ever did. We split up and she moved... Like, we split up and she moved this guy in all the way from bloody Oldham, Manchester way. So he's moved, 400 miles down the country overnight.
I know you can't say it, but I will. I know it come back that there was some history on Dave, whether it was on the Sarah's law or the Claire's law, that he had... Yeah,
and that's at that point is when Wendy said, look, Dave, you can go. See you later. But this Dave was in a full relationship up in Oldham. He had a partner, they had a house together with animals and stuff. And I ended up, doing a digging, and I found out who she was. I spoke to her on the phone a few times. She was absolutely devastated. And but then I passed that information on to Wendy, and that was sort of brushed under the rug until the Sarah's and Claire's all come back. And at that point, she was like, "Dave, you need to."
And what he's gone through. I'm not going to say it just in case, because he is a minor. But obviously,
I think, like I said, the people that are in here, the people that are in here have obviously, seen Wendy's lives and stuff, and then they'll know what you're talking about there.
About it openly, but I'm not going to say it because he is a minor. But I'm
not going to bring any of that up.
But knowing what that child has been through, you'd think as a mother she'd want to protect her own child, and bring any man that she's bringing in the house, she's going to want to check out. But she didn't. She just moved him straight in without caring. Someone she'd met on TikTok, she'd never really met him in person properly. She just moved him straight in. It was James that tried to safeguard the kids and done his background checks and looked into him. He's always had the kids' safety as his number one priority. No, she doesn't care at all. She is a vile piece of shit, to be honest.
I think it's the fact as well, obviously people are saying that you look guilty. You know what to talk about it. Go back to what I talk about it. You went through something traumatic. It's literally changed and made your whole life completely upheaval. And you've had to go through all this shit. You stayed in hotels, to accommodation. Why would you want to sit and talk about it? Do you know what I mean? And the fact that people are saying that means that you're guilty because you don't want to talk about something is utter bullshit. I mean, just because somebody doesn't want to talk about something that they've went through, because it's been traumatic, but it's hurting, especially when a minor's involved. It's difficult to talk about, do you know what I mean? And the fact that you don't even see them hardly ever anymore, it's going to be shite. So why would you want to sit and talk about something that hurts you with someone that doesn't clearly give a shit?
That's it. Like I said, me and Holt, we've known James from day dot. There's a few people in this live, Katie and all that, they've known James since his first come out. Straight away, the minute that he first got, Wendy first got outed, he jumped in the box back then, tried to clear his name. And he's never tried to hide anything. He's had his life turned upside down. He is just as much a victim as anyone else, if not more so. I mean, he is still suffering from what Wendy has done for him. He's still homeless. But he's never tried to ask for money. I mean, I've had James in my own home. And he's tried to put petrol in my car. He tried to buy up on snacks and stuff and support me. He didn't ask for a penny, and I wouldn't take money off him. But he kept offering. He was, a lovely lad to have around. What you see on TikTok is what you get in real life. And I've always had his back. And he generally is a good man. And the love he's got for his boy, it is genuine. Like I said, I've been on video calls with him in private where he's got Blake there. And when he's out those days out, he's bending over backwards. He's taking him out places. And he's trying to make sure that he gets that quality time. And that Blake's having as much fun. And
like I said, if I could have Blake full time tomorrow, I would.
Yeah.
But where I live, he can come in during the day and he's got to be gone by 9 p.m. But I can't expect to keep him here till 9 p.m. when he lives 2 hours away down in Cornwall. Like, it's just it's impossible. Obviously, during the week he would be at school, so I can't exactly go all the way down there to bring him here for a few hours to then take him all the way back down again. Like, it's just. It's so awkward with travel. It's a 2 hour 15-minute train journey with a change in between, and it's just it's awkward, you know. And obviously with them driving, then her mum lives just around the corner from me, so generally speaking, when she comes to see her mum, I'll take Blake out and do something for the day with him. I've been down to Falmouth, and I've seen him down there, but like I said, it's so costly for me, and the time I'd put in every minute of the day to see him, but it's just more for him. I don't want him travelling hours and hours and hours every day just to come and see me, because I know that he wouldn't appreciate that.
Tay, we have heard rumours about how Jared speaks to him. We have heard some stories. Like I said, I've struggled to keep up to date with what's happened recently. So if you do get anything on video, please screen record it. Please send it to us, and I can send it on to James. James is in contact with Blake's social worker. That's fab.
Well, you say this, Emma, but there is a new social worker, which I've not. Well, the social worker that was in case before the new one, I saw twice. He come to my house once for 5 minutes just to talk about life, nothing to do with Blake, nothing to do with anything else. And he came to the school, and all he did was sit on Wendy's side because he'd been round there a few times and built some sort of relationship with her. And now he's left, and then she's got a new one, which I've heard nothing from. Speaking to Wendy, she's heard nothing from yet, and he hasn't really started, so I don't really know what's going on yet. But I mean, social services, like I said, I've made multiple calls. My support worker where I live has made multiple calls and emails, and we've had nothing back. It's just, someone will be in touch, someone will get back to you, and nobody ever is. That's the problem. Unless I could just go down and just rock up at the social service headquarters or whatever and go, right, I'm here to speak to someone. But I don't think you can do that.
You just get put in what happens.
That's the thing. I mean, I sit here just waiting and wait. I've been in temporary accommodation since breaking up with Wendy, and that's 2 years. I'm a band B waiting for a property. I'm just literally just bidding every week, getting nowhere. And it's just like, what do I do? I don't know what more I can do. If I had my own place tomorrow, 100% I would be saying, right, I want to try and take Blake full time. 100%.
But even if you still took these videos, I mean, and then you wanted to put a case later on, it'd still help back your case up.
Is there anyone in particular you've spoken to, Tay?
It's a fact as well, like Emma said, that James would bend over backwards. He would bend over backwards for anyone. Do you know what I mean? How can someone be involved in scams? Literally everything they try and do is to better themselves as a person. Like, putting it out there, there's times where I've felt the absolute shit, and I've shut the phone to James and he's helped me, he's given me advice. Do you know what I mean? Or there's times where Emma will sit on the phone, or Nathan. Obviously Nathan's not in this live, but there's times where people phone James and he'll give the best advice possible. James hit the morning one night because I was feeling my utter shit. That doesn't seem to me a guy that would be involved in scams and fraud when all he wants to do is help. That's his main core fucking priority, is to help people. So why would they try and hate people?
Yeah, feel free, observer.
It's stupid. It's all good.
Tay, when you speak to them tomorrow, can you just pass a message on to ring Blake's dad? They'll have my details on file somewhere. My number's still the same, but just say that I've made multiple efforts to try and get hold of them, and nobody's got back to me. So, I ring and ring often. My support worker comes twice a week. We ring together, emails. It's just never, we never get anything back.
Yeah.
I want to do as much as I can, and I want to do more, but it's physically impossible for me to do anything where I'm living. If they were to say, we're going to take Blake away from Wendy now, we're going to go to Dad, and they come here, I can't have him. Then what happens? It's just I'm in a in between. I'm stuck in the middle.
You're a rock. You're in between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the expression I was looking for. But
I got you, James. It's all good.
We've had many conversations in private with James where he's literally hit rock bottom. Like I said, he's had his whole life turned upside down, and he feels like he's hitting his head against a brick wall 9 times out of 10, and he is finding this extremely difficult. But if there's anything we can do to help with Wendy, you know, you guys out in her, then I'll happily speak out.
I've just noticed Wendy Williams has joined.
Yeah.
I mean, if that person wants to jump up in a box and put across what they've got on me, then feel free.
Yeah, anyone's welcome to jump up in a box and have their say.
The grumpy loyal, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
We've given James a lot of like resources, and you know he's got plenty of us to reach out to. I don't think a lot of people really understood exactly what James went through, especially from the beginning when Wendy was making out he was the abuser, and she cheated on him, she kicked him out.
Like all my life, I've sort of sat and been nice as pie to everybody, and now, it's time to, as people been telling me for ages, man up and just fucking, do what you need to do.
No, then nobody should be telling a man to man up in this day and age.
No, not as in like man up and get on with it, but like, man up and grow up sort of thing. Like, grow a pair of balls and, do what you got to do. Like man up, and not in a bad way, like not in a like taking a piss sort of way, but.
Sorry, I do leave that Wendy was fucking dead.
Yeah, grumpy loyal, mate. I'd say I popped in the other day on the podcast, and I will reach out and we'll set up a little meet or something like that. Maybe have a little hour or something before football one time.
But to be fair, the ones that have been out on Wendy, in some way I can understand.
Thank you, Saza.
The doubt around James. I know when it first came out about Wendy being a scammer, there was a few people that first doubted him. But he jumped up in a box back then. He cleared his name. Like I said, we've known him from day dot when this first came out. We saw him clear his name. I've sat with him where she was pleading that she was the abuser, and then it came out about the affair, and he was made homeless, and we were talking him into, what he needed to do with getting down to the council and making himself known as being homeless, to then finding out that she was lying about his benefits, and the fact she had control of all the accounts. He didn't even know what benefits he was getting, and trying to talk him into how he got in touch with like the Department of Work and Pensions and put those benefits back into his name. I mean, she lied about the cost of living payments that were happening back then, saying that he didn't get them. But he did, but they went into her bank account and she claimed them. So she scammed him just as much as she has scammed everybody else. He's gone through so much more, with the homelessness and everything like that. Not that it's a competition. I know there's a lot of vulnerable people on here that's lost out. There was someone back when it first got outed that sent her loads of money that nearly ended up having her kids taken off her. The thing she's done is absolutely vile. We'll never sit here and try and justify her actions at all. We all, can't.
I think it's through everything that's gone on. I've kept myself quiet. I've tried to distance myself away from everything that's going on. A, for my mental health, and B, because I know full well that me getting involved is not going to go well with Blake being, with his mum. And it, as much as I want to get involved and say things, I know full well that I can't. And, on top of that, I don't want to spend my whole life looking through whatever she's doing and, monitoring everything that she's doing and people that she's trying to mug off, whatever. I don't get involved. She's got me blocked on every single one of her accounts. So I don't know how many accounts she's got. Probably 10, 20, 30, maybe 100. I don't know. But, I don't see anything until somebody sends me a screen recording or a video of Wendy's live. And I just think, when she's going live and she's got that going on, I get 3, 4, 5 messages from different people. Oh, have you seen what Wendy's doing? I'm like, I don't really care. Like, I just want to move on with my own life and do my own thing. Like, obviously, if anything happened to Blake while there, yeah, fine. I need to get involved. I need to do something. But I need to, run my own life and do my own thing.
This is about his ex-partner, Wendy Williams. It's a scammer. And it's been claimed that James has been a part of it, which we know is not true. Trying to put James's side of the story across, just to clear a few things up with no hate, because we can understand why a little bit. But I also want to put across as well, I know that Matty Simmons brought it up at some point as well, when he tried to say that he had evidence with you being a part of it because you were still having contact with Wendy. And I know someone posted something where you two were at a dart match recently, but
that was at her house around in January when I went over to see Blake.
I was going to say, given the fact that you've got kids together, you are going to have contact.
It was just after New Year, and I didn't get to see him New Year's Eve. So I went over a couple of days later, and I spent a few hours over there to see Blake, and I had some food over there, and the darts were on the telly. That's literally my entire involvement. I sat on the sofa and I watched a bit of darts while Blake was on his tablet and stuff, and just being around and having a chat with him and just seeing him and stuff. And Wendy's put a Facebook post up saying enjoying the darts with James. There's nothing more than just I was there for Blake and nothing else.
See, I think, to be fair, she knows what she's doing, and she's stirring the shit pot, and she knows it's going to cause backlash.
The thing is,
she doesn't realise the trauma it's causing.
Grumpy lawyer, I am, yes. I'll be running late there though, because I'll have Slim and Well first, and then I'll be straight to the ground. What's that, sorry?
Can I type in a post on Facebook and I'll get involved in it?
Yeah, it probably was. Yeah, everything she does, it's always... Cleaner, exactly that. I think that at that point it was when Wendy had broken up with Jareth. I'm not 100% sure, but I was around to see Blake. I mean, there wasn't anything in it that was me. There was anything more than that. I was there for Blake, and the darts happened to be on. I'm a big darts fan. That's it. It's... I mean, people can make assumptions and say, "Oh, James went round there," or "James went round to see Wendy." I mean, my son lives there, so where am I going to go? And there's no way James would ever get back with her. If you're comfortable talking about it, James, she accused you of abuse, but what really happened in that relationship?
Well, exactly the opposite. I had my whole life controlled. Like I had to basically ask for anything. Like I play pool. So I'm in a few teams a week and stuff, and it comes to the point where I'd have to ask if there was a couple of quid in the bank or something that I could go and get a can of Coke or something at pool. She'd stop me going to work. She'd stop me going to play pool. She'd stop me going out to see my friends. Just for whatever reason. I used to work on the doors, and I used to come home, and I used to have like half my wages would be disappeared by the time the morning come, and little things that just make big problems. And I put up with it for so long because I didn't want to leave that house because my son was there. And in hindsight, I probably should have, but no, they don't. No, I take Blake out and go places, to the beach and wherever. I'll always provide for him when he's with me.
I can vouch for that. I've been on video calls with him, and I've spoken to Blake directly when I've been on the phone to James, and James is spoiling and rotten. Blake absolutely adores his father.
There has been a time when she turned around and said, "Oh, we are coming to Plymouth today. If you want to see Blake," and I said to her, "Well, you can bring him round, but I don't have anything here for him." And she has brought a packed lunch for him to have for food and stuff here. But 9 times out of 10, I will take him out places and I'll buy him whatever he wants.
There's been a few times I've ticked off James's phoned me, and he's borrowed money off James and not paid it back, or taken fucking ages to pay it back. But the minute she owes him money, she's delayed it and taken fucking ages, and it's been excuse after excuse after excuse, and it's taken months, even a year or so, before he's got that money back.
Nice one, Grumpy Loyal. Cheers, man.
She's really taken the piss and wiped him clean. You will never get it back, unfortunately. This is what I've said to a lot of people. I sent her money, I've never got it back. I know a lot of people that sent her money that never got it back. She borrowed money from your friends, didn't she, pretending to be you? James.
Well, yeah, this is it. I mean, my old Facebook was literally, I don't know how many friends or whatever she's got on her Facebook, but she used to message people off my Facebook, and just send the same generic message to everybody, asking to borrow 25, 30 quid, and then just delete the messages or put it in my archive so I wouldn't see it. And then, you know, it would just be, oh, can you put it in Wendy's bank? Because, you know, my bank's, you know, overdrawn or something, or I wouldn't know anything about it. And, you know, it comes to a point where I was in town one time, and there was a friend of mine that was in town, and I've put my, you know, nodded at her to say hello, and, you know, she's come over and she's like, oh, but, you know, she didn't say anything then, but she messaged me when I got back home saying, bit cheeky that you can borrow 40 quid off me or something and just ignore the fact that you owe me, and nicest party to say hello in town and stuff. And I'm like, what? Like, when did I borrow money? Like, and, you know, so then I've checked through my phone and stuff, found an archive folder with about 30 different people that have got messages saying, can I borrow this? Can I borrow this? And I'm like, you know, how, like, what do I do? Like, do I tell people, oh, by the way, if you get a message from me, it's not me? How is anyone going to believe that? Like, why would anyone believe that? But I mean, the people that know me properly know the way that I would word a text and know that that wouldn't be me. But, you know, just random friends that I don't really speak to very often wouldn't have a clue whether that's me or not. And that's the problem. Like, I've never asked for anything in my life. I don't borrow off anyone. I try not to borrow anything. If I haven't got it, I can't have it. And that's why I've always worked.
Many times when James has been on his arse and I know he's struggling, and I've offered to send him money down, or, you know, I know he's going to the pub, and I'm like, do you know, I know you're not getting a drink because you can't afford to. Give me your PayPal and I'll send you a £5 and you can get. And he refuses. He will not take it.
Same with me. I've offered them money as well, and like there was a time, I think it was last Christmas or the Christmas before, you had to get, it was like 2 taxis or something like that to go see Blake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we all offered him money and he probably didn't want it.
Sure, I've always, on top of that, you know, I've always made the effort to get Mother's Day stuff, birthday stuff from Blake. You know, it's not from me, it's from Blake. You know, it's something nice for her to open from our son. And, you know, I don't expect to get anything. And, you know, in reality, I don't. And that's that's a massive difference, is I'll go out of my way to do things from Blake. Again, it's not from me, it's from Blake. So, you know, I'll go out of my way to do things like that, whereas, you know, I don't even get acknowledged for that sort of thing, you know, and...
It's for your son.
Yeah, exactly that. You know, it was my birthday 3 weeks ago. I didn't even get a card. I got a call about 8 o'clock at night saying, oh, Blake wanted to say happy birthday, as if she just remembered it was my birthday sort of thing. You know, and, you know, deep down, I'm not bothered because I kind of expected to be that way. But it's still, you know, the principle of how hard is it to send a card?
Yeah. Thing is, though, James, he's going to get older and he'll be able to do stuff like himself, and that boy adores you. I've seen that myself.
No, of course, and I hope that is the case, you know, and I hope he grows up and knows that, you know, I would do anything for him.
Oh, he knows already. I can see that. Wendy's got this account blocked, so she's probably going to be pissed at it, but she knows it's me behind it, and she knows it a lot.
Are you doing this live effect you see now? I don't think it will, but it will cause tension, I guess, between me and her, which, you know, I'm perfectly fine with, because it's not always been good anyway. So, you know, there were times where we were actually getting on quite well for the sake of Blake, and, you know, it was easy to get on with her. But the more things come out and the more she doesn't listen to anything I say or whatever, it's, you know, I'm done with being the good guy. I'll still be the good guy, but with an attitude. And, you know, it'd be an attitude to match, not an attitude for no reason. Like, it's just, you know, it's not me to be a nasty person, but, you know, I can be, you know, I can have an attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can have that attitude when I need to have it. So, yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, if it goes down that route, then I'll do what I can to overcome that. I'll go see the school, and, you know, I've not actually been to the school down there yet. I know he's only just started school down there, but I've not really been down to Falmouth for a little while. But I do need to get hold of the school really and get in and just speak to the teachers and stuff, and, you know, make sure that he's settling in all right.
You was on good with the last school, weren't you?
Yeah. Well, I said I've been on good terms with all the schools he's been at. You know, to the point where, you know, I used to go in and just chat with the teachers and stuff, and I used to pick them up from school. And it comes to a point, you know, one time where, well, when me and Wendy split up, she went and stayed with her mum for a couple of weeks. So I just stayed in the house until I moved somewhere else. And Wendy come back one day and snuck the door key out of the door. So I assumed that she was gonna lock me out of the house when I went out, because I couldn't obviously lock the door because I had no key. So I knew that she was picking up Blake from school, and I figured that maybe that Dave guy would be there with her picking him up. So I thought, I'm going to go up to the school and I'll just meet her up there. And it all kicked off outside the school because her mum was there, and her mum got attitude, and then they went into the school saying that I was being abusive and, you know, aggressive towards them both. So they pulled us both into the school, into different rooms. I got my side of the story across. The police were called, and within 2 minutes I had the key back, and her mum was told to jog on, basically. So, you know, I'm not going to bring up her mum in the conversation because, you know, I don't like her mum. I've never had a good word to say about her, but that's all I'm going to say on that. But, you know, as for, like, things with Blake, like, you know, I do what I can. I do everything I can to make sure that Blake's all right. And, you know, yeah, to some people that might not be enough, but, you know, given the fact that I don't drive, I don't have a lot of money, and they live fucking miles away, is massive, massive obstacles. And, you know, I'm sorry to anyone that thinks I should be doing better, but, you know, I will do everything I can, and I will be making calls, and I will be doing this, that, and the other. But, you know, for the meantime,
you know that you're doing the best that you possibly can in your situation that you're in, and the people that aren't close to you didn't have a fucking clue, so they've got no right to comment on anything. But in this day and age, that's all people want to do. It's just get a little bit of information on something and just spiral out of control.
Yeah.
Tay, she definitely does have contact with her mum.
It's on and off with her mum though, because she's her mum lives as well in the past.
Her mum lives 2 minutes round the corner from me. Her mum lives 2 minutes round the corner from me, and she does go there.
A lot of the reasons she uses to beg and that, they're all bollocks. She is just money orientated. She likes getting money. I think she gets an awful lot of pleasure out of scamming people. And she's never gonna. She could win the lottery tomorrow, and she'd still be on TikTok pleading poverty because she gets some sort of kick out of it.
I'll just have Wendy try and ring me now. She can fucking wait.
Probably saying that we're live in that, but you know what?
Oh yeah, of course. She'll see this now, but
then like I said, she did block. You might have to jump out and back in because I think you're echoing.
Yeah.
Am I actually echoing now, am I?
Oh, wait, actually, wait.
Hello.
Well, you're
fine
echoing
now.
You're repeating it. So you're echoing.
Hello, my name is James.
Hello, my name is James.
No, you're not echoing now. Just for a second now. To be fair, I'm more than happy to help anybody that is out in this. So if there's any of the outing pages here that are raising awareness on it, if you do want to jump up in a box, because like I said, I've not been following what she's been up to within the last year or so. So if you want to jump up and have a say and share some more information on it, you're more than welcome to. This is what
I just want to add one more thing. I don't want to make it bitter or anything, but obviously Wendy Woo 1 is in the comment, so in the chat, so well, in the room. You know, you've made it clear that you've got a beef with me over whatever reason. You know, you haven't showed me any evidence. You haven't put a single comment in the chat. I'm just, you know, you've made my life another fucking call. Well, you've made my day pretty shit today. So, you know, for whatever reason you've not put anything in the chat. I mean, if you could just let me know what I'm supposed to have done wrong or show me something, anything.
Yes.
Yes, it is Wendy calling me, yeah.
So now you can comment, and it's only a question that you know for a fact who she's calling, so instead of saying something, a genuine question that's obviously, you know the obvious answer, is comment something else that you've got a bit of evidence against the man, because you can sit there in a live and watch a live but can't give him any evidence to what the guy's day absolutely shit. I know more. Then tell us, go for it. Tell us whatever you know. Give us it. I can wholeheartedly tell you it's utter bullshit. Then you upload it, just send it. Don't you be a dick and a pussy and upload it to fucking TikTok. Send us it privately.
I've invited him up to a box because I want to get to the bottom of this. I don't want false information being spread. Like I said,
I'll ring her back in a minute. She can wait for a minute. I'm busy.
The thing is that when James was, and he's been trying now over the past 2 years to rebuild himself. So just because she's calling, he's not going to go running. I think she's seen the fact that James is now speaking out, and she's probably sweating. She doesn't like it, and that's probably why she's waiting. Thing is, he's got to have contact with Wendy because he does have a child with her, and like he said, Blake is his #1 priority.
Why would you answer her? I'm going to ring her back after this.
He's got to have that contact because obviously Blake.
I gather that she's only ringing for the live.
How would you know that?
Which is why I'm not answering. Like I'll ring her back when I'm ready to ring her back.
But she's not controlling his life like she used to. So she can't sit there and tell him what to do and what not to do. And James is still trying to rebuild it, and he's got a long way to go. I mean, because he's a single man, he's been made to stay in temporary accommodation for nearly 2 years. I know even Holes was sat there on phone calls with him on nights where he's hit rock bottom, and we've had to try and, bump him up and say, come on, James, you can do this. It's not, going to be forever.
Okay, well, I mean, I assumed the same as well.
But if you actually go on Wendy Williams' page, then you're out and James are on, saying that James is this is a shit dad and shit like that, or putting up posts that James involved in shit, so you're clearly not on the same page as everyone else.
Like I said, for those that know James and know that, know him from day one and know that he's a good lad, like I said, put a red heart in the chat there, because we can all vouch for him. We've known him for a long time. We've seen him from day dot, from when this was all kicked off. Like I said, the minute she shit on him, even from when they were in a relationship and she was having that affair, from him having to sort his benefits out because she was scamming him, he has had his life turned upside down.
Because people are falling for it. James is back in Wendy all the time. I'll post it when I want to. That's the thing.
Back in I don't have a clue what you're on about. Back in Wendy, I've never backed Wendy.
Because
I've just not got involved.
Associate with the name. It's not only traumatic for him, but he's got Blake to think of as well. He's got to have that relationship with Wendy for his kid. He's proven himself in the past. Like, I've had him in my own home. I've sat with him and helped him sort out his benefits because of Wendy scamming him. I can vouch for him. Holes can vouch for him. We've known him for a long time. We know him personally. 100% he is not involved. He would love to, but he's in temporary accommodation. He can't just take him out of that situation at the minute. That's his goal. That is what he's working towards. He really wants that. I mean, what you're doing out in here, it's applaudable. It needs to be put out there. Keep doing what you're doing. It's saving. There's a lot of vulnerable people on this app, and they're not going to knock you for that. But what you've got to remember is there's a lot of evidence. I could sit here now, and I could come back live tomorrow, and I could go through 4 years of conversation with James, where I've offered him money, or I've had chats with him where he's been at despair, and I could come to you with receipts and prove his innocence. But it'll take me a while to post that, and there's a lot of the conversation I don't want to post because it shows James at his most vulnerable, which I don't know.
So Wendy Woo won. Wendy Woo won. Let me just ask you a question. So so you would go down and take Blake and then do what? Take him back to a supported accommodation where you're not allowed him, and then you get kicked out of there, then you got nothing. Where's the logic? Where's the logic?
Well, let me answer this question, right? If it was your kid and you would do absolutely nothing in that situation, but you were in James's situation and James made a fake account about you and posted shit about you, how would you feel?
But even if he went down there and grabbed Blake now,
Dance fever, hello.
That temporary accommodation, he'd be put on the streets, and social would come, take Blake back to Wendy, and then when he applies for custody, when he's got a place of his own, what he's done then is going to be used against him, and we wouldn't get the custody later.
How you doing, Dan? You all right? It's Sam, isn't it? How you doing?
He's fighting for a family home so he can sort this out and get Blake out of there.
My parents live in a 1-bedroom place with 2 dogs. There is no way that I could stay there with Blake as well. Like, I'm not going to go and sleep in a fucking shed or on the streets with him. It's not logical.
It's not often you see a man cry. They try and bottle it up and act the hard man. I've seen James at his most weakest point because of what this has done to him. And it has broken my heart. And the amount of times I've said to him, this is not permanent.
Well, like I've just said, Wendy, my parents live in a 1-bedroom place with 2 dogs. There's no way that they would put up Blake there as well. There's no room. Like, unless you knew the ins and outs, sorry, no excuse. Obviously, it is an excuse. It might not be a big enough excuse to you. You might have 20 people that you can go and crash with, but I don't. And that's the problem. I don't have that.
Yeah, exactly the thing. Thing is, Wendy Boone one, right? We've been
How about you just stop being so in the comments?
Recently, you've only got bits of what's happened, and you've made such a big judgment. You really don't know the ins and outs of it, and
then see, until you do, you can't say nothing. Like, you're getting half a story and no letting the guy say nothing. But if you want to have your say, then happily jump in a box. But then I've just looked at your followers. You've only got like 124 people following you. You only know half a story. You're not even letting anybody else explain the rest of it to you. Like, it's stupid. So stupid.
Hello.
Hello.
You're right, Faye.
How's yours all?
I'm alright.
Wendy, we're jumping a box.
there's a lot of people in here, Wendy, that's known James since 4 or 5 years, and we've known what he's been through. We've supported him all the way.
Definitely, all the way.
Yeah, so Wendy, we won though, but like my problem is, like, you know, without even speaking to me, you've just assumed that I am doing something that I'm not, and then you've resorted to making videos taking the piss out of me for my weight, like, you know, fat shaming me for what I'm doing, and, you know, just being generally abusive, and, you know, for what reason? Like, I've done nothing. I don't even know who you are. You don't even give me a name. You told me Steve as a name, like. That's obviously not a real name, you know, so you can't even tell me who you are, let alone what you're doing and what your beef with me is.
Jump in a box and show me who you are.
Like I said, we applaud you for outing Wendy. She definitely needs outing, but, you know, please get the facts. Know the full story. Know James's story before you go shouting and spreading this stuff around. I will happily jump in and help you out with the information I know and I can share. And there's a lot of people that, you know, we all disapprove of what Wendy's doing. Some of us are completely disgusted. A lot of us, you know, have been victims of it as well. And we would quite happily speak out. You know, James has got to do what he's got to do to protect his son. But please do not go going around accusing him of stuff he's not done. He's had his life upside down and he's bottom.
As well as that, I mean, you know, if 10 weeks ago you'd have fat shamed me, I probably would have got upset about it. But these last 9 weeks, I've tried my fucking hardest and I've pushed myself further than I've ever done, and I've lost a shitload of weight. And I'm quite happy with what I'm doing at the minute. And, you know, fat shaming me while I'm doing well is pointless, because all it's going to do is make me do even better.
Improve it,
you know, and I'm more than happy with the way I'm doing and the way I'm going. Yeah, I'm still fat. I get that.
But you're doing a better job than anybody else at the minute.
You've always tried to work on yourself, James, and you should be applauded for that.
But
Exactly.
sitting making videos of me, fat shaming me to get laughs out of people and stuff. All right, you say, yep, Blake goes hungry. I mean, I get what you're saying, and if that was true, then obviously, you know, things need to change. But I rung Wendy last night, and I spoke to Blake personally, and Blake seemed happy. I know you're saying that there's evidence and stuff, but unless I'm hearing it or seeing it from Wendy, or she's telling me she's struggling and this, that, and the other, I'm not going to know anything. She's got me blocked on everything that she can fucking have. Like, I'm not going to see anything unless somebody tells me something. And I can't just take someone's word, especially yours, if you're going to go around slandering me for no reason.
She is
Like, it just makes me think that... Yeah, I get that she probably is at times, but how am I supposed to know what?
But then there's been times as well, James, vouch for this, you know, she's been on live where she's been pleading poverty, she's got no money, people have sent her money, and yet she's buying takeaways, and you've caught her in the shop, and she has got money, she is buying food, she is just on TikTok bullshitting just to scam. They've got more in there than they are letting on to these people, you know, that just to plead poverty and just to get money sent their way. She is infatuated with money and people sending it to her. She really is the scum of the earth. You know, no one is doubting that whatsoever. No one is disagreeing with that. But if you really knew what James has been through, how much of a victim he's been with the abuse, with being in the relationship, the way she has scammed him and manipulated him, the homelessness and everything he's been through, the fights that he's had to, you know, care for Blake, and the obstacles that he is still facing, you would know that he is just, if not more, a victim. And he needs as much help and support as anybody else. And he's not asking for anything. He's not asking for no money, you know. He just wants to be kept out of it on TikTok so he can do what he needs to do to protect his son. He applauds you for what you're doing, you know, with Wendy. It needs to be out there because there's a lot of vulnerable people on this app. But don't bring him into it. You know, he's been through a lot. He doesn't need it. It's just, you're making him relive that trauma. You're putting him in awkward situations and you're spouting off on stuff that you really do not know much of.
Plus, if you're big enough to hide behind an account, but give him one name that's obviously clearly not your real name, then you're big enough to hide behind the account. So grow a pair of balls if you're a man like you say you are, and give us a name.
And Wendy, we won. Just one more thing. Like, I like the first time you come across, I was nice as pie. I didn't have an attitude. I didn't say anything bad. I said to you, I gave you my reasons why I didn't want to associate with your account or the name that's on there, the picture or anything. And I said, if you've got a normal account, by all means, follow me, do what you want to do. Message me, speak to me, do whatever. That was it. You know, and all I've had since then is abuse. And I'm like, well, you know, it says more about you than it does about me. Hey, Leanne, you're right.
James is pretty much an open book. He's very honest.
Hey, Liam.
He just doesn't always agree with jumping in a box and having to talk about it because it's reliving the trauma and he's been through a lot.
The thing is, I mean, I shouldn't have to come in and defend myself for something I haven't even done. But I'm more than happy to do that.
On it, is it?
Mr. Luscombe. Mate, Liam, that's a long time ago, that. That's a long, long time ago.
Can I also say, like, you know, that I'm guessing there's a lot of people in here that's been scammed and sent Wendy money. If you don't know someone, be careful. If they're sat on here pleading poverty or something like that, direct them into a food bank or tell them to go and see Citizens of Advice. It's so easy for somebody to sit on here and say, I'm broke, I've got no gas, no electric, no food in the cupboard. And chances are they probably have. And I know some people on here probably are genuine, but there is help and support out there for them. We're in a cost of living crisis and everyone's struggling as it is. It's not your place to go around and try and help out strangers because then you're likely to fall victim to a scam. If in doubt, leave it out. Obviously, you know, it's up to you who you gift on TikTok. I turn the gifting off on you because we talk about scammers on here. I don't want to profit from that. Make sure you
They're
get
not alive anymore.
and you know who you're doing it to. Don't be forced into doing it to anybody. And if they're putting pressure on you, then there's something not right. And get out. Look after yourself. Don't. And it tends to be that they're most vulnerable because they care more, or someone that's struggling the most because they know what it's like to go without this.
Hey, Ben, mate, you're right.
Pay out and give someone money, but seriously, point them into directions of charities, citizens advice, food banks, and get them to get the help that they need rather than sending money to the wrong person and leaving yourself out of pocket. It's not worth the risk. I'm not judging. I've done it myself.
Jesus, man.
Yeah, I know she did.
I will be a...
Even when you first out with her, Katie, and her and James split up, she messaged me asking me to send her another 20. And I was like, serious? The truth has just come out about you. And you want more money? And she's got no shame, has she? Yeah, she's vile. Katie in the chat, I mean, no hate towards you, Katie. I mean, you even questioned James at the beginning, didn't you? And we get why, he was with Wendy. There was questions asked, surely, being with Wendy, he must have known what was going on. But it took a lot for him to prove himself, and even you realised he was speaking the truth then, didn't you? Exactly that, and if you're in someone's life and you're offering them advice rather than sending them money and they're blocking people, then that's a huge red flag. Then then that's definitely a scam going on. Get the fuck out of there.
Thing is, I mean, people can think that Wendy Wu One account is Wendy. I don't think it is. Like, there's no way that she would put all those videos on about herself, if you know what I mean.
Not sure who this is. Hiya. Hiya. Do you have something to say about Wendy?
I think it might be a box battle or something like that.
No, we're not doing box battles. Alright, well, if you're not going to speak.
I just kick it out.
Yeah.
Thinks it's box battles or something like that.
How has he jumped in a box if he's only got 129 followers?
You could do it with 50 now.
You just can't
Can
believe
you?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I get why people found it sus, to be fair. But
No, absolutely. I mean, it is sus because this account has just come from absolutely nowhere. They got like a new following. Like, they followed me when they only had 10 followers. So it was a brand new account. So I mean, it could very well be, but I don't think that if it was Wendy, that she would have put up that kind of content about herself and me with Blake and stuff. Like, I just can't see it.
I got to be honest, right? Matty Simmons is springing to mind because he was the only person I know who wanted to out you with Wendy.
Because I did say it wasn't female.
See, the
I
problem
mean,
is,
again,
like,
even if it is, even if it is Matt, I mean, if you want to show some evidence of anything, just put anything in. Anything.
I mean, that's been a year or so since he said he had evidence on you, and he's never posted it because he hasn't got them.
Tay? Who's the Tay lassie? See the lassie that was talking to you? Who's Tay that was in the comments?
Not sure.
I think Tay's gone now. She said she had family round for dinner or something.
Yeah, I know, but then that Tay's commenting on the posts as well on that fucking Wendy Wu.
Yeah, so that's obviously Tay and Wendy Wu both were messaging me today.
Plus,
Tay started messaging last night.
If you look back at the comments when I've been fucking talking to that Wendy Wu in the comments, Tay's replied back to me saying she knows a lot. Why is it she knows a lot if it's a guy?
Yeah, well, no, that's exactly it. Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Wendy Wu is Tay, guaranteed. Well, we don't know.
I mean, that again. I mean, that could be a thing. Well, I'm not going to get into like who's who, because whoever it is sitting behind an account that doesn't show who they are, and apparently they've got evidence that they don't want to show.
Right back from the beginning.
Yeah, all right. So Tay was a mod for Wendy and was scammed. So
moderator and we got scammed.
Something to do with it. Which if she was a mod and got scammed, then she would know for a fact that James was like, fuck what we do with it.
James
Ross just told me it's him. Nah, Ross is a little prick.
I get that these people, they've been scammed and they've been abused by Wendy. They're very angry, and we were back when it first happened. We were scammed. We saw what was going on. We saw how not just James, a lot of people were ill-treated and scammed and abused, and there was a lot of high tempers. And
so just reading the comments there. As much as I feel sorry for Tay being treated like crap by Wendy, because no one deserves that. Like, in turn, that doesn't mean that she should be able to come and do that to me, like for no apparent reason. Like, I'm just sort of sitting here doing my own thing, doing my own life, and I've been messaged by two random people that I didn't even know, that I still don't know, obviously, telling me all this, that I should be doing better, I should be doing more as a dad, and, calling me out for doing things I've got no connection with. And I just feel like, why jump on the bandwagon for that? Like, what have I done wrong for that? Like, I get, if she's mistreated or, treated badly by Wendy, that's between her and Wendy. We split up 2 years ago. What have I done wrong?
Is if she's got these evidence pages posting this information and saying we've got proof that James is doing this and we've got proof James is doing that, and she's been scorned, right? She's come into this live tonight, and to begin with, she's heard you out, and a lot of what she's commented, this Tay, to begin
Leanne,
with,
yeah, she will be, yeah.
So I don't want anyone jumping on the bandwagon and sending hate towards Tay, okay? Let's try and give her a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. It's so easy when you see posts to think, oh shit, yeah, do you know what? That person's done wrong, especially when you've been, what's the word? Burnt yourself and you're angry.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's the case. The cleaner. Is there a name that we can call you? The cleaner just sounds silly, like.
Myself, Holes, MC Wet Ducky, we've done a few outings on here, but I will say to
mysterious.
many of you that are doing outings on Wendy, make sure you've got your facts. Make sure you can back up what you're saying. Don't just go on hearsay or rumours, because it can destroy lives. And anything that I post on or I speak out on, I make sure that I can back it up. Like I said, everything I've said tonight, for anybody that does want proof on it, I can sit there and go through a shitload of history of conversations with James where I've offered him money. He's offered to help me out, and how he's worried about Blake, and I can show you that he's a damn good dad. It would take me ages to go through it, but I would sit there and do it if it meant proving his innocence. I know Holes would probably do the same as well. There's a lot we wouldn't show you because they're private conversations, and a lot of what he said,
100%. I would stand there until I went blue in the face, backing James.
No worries to clean. That's absolutely fine.
No, yeah, that's fine. I wouldn't ask him for a name. I mean, just give me a random name to call you if you want. Just anything. We'll just
call them the Queen. Or Clean.
I would say 4 years of conversation, but I got a new phone at the beginning of the year, didn't I? But I've still got like a year's conversation with James.
No, Becky, that's exactly how it should be. All evidence being put out there for proof to back it up. Yeah, that's it.
100%. That is the best.
And like I've said to Wendy Wu, I said, if there's anything that I've done wrong and you've got evidence of me doing something, I'll quite happily put my hands in the air and say, you know what, I fucked up. But I've not actually done anything, and that's my point. Like, I feel like I'm sitting in here saying sorry for something I've not even done.
The only thing that's been posted, which
I've been off the app for a few days on hold, so I haven't seen what's been said about James.
Spent time with Wendy, and like I said, he's got to. She's the mother of his kid, and for him to have that access to Blake, he's got to spend that time with Wendy. Unfortunately, 90% of the time he does get Blake to himself. He gets to go out and do stuff, but unfortunately, sometimes it means being in the house with Wendy to have that one-to-one with Blake.
Right, listen, I'm going to have to jump off, but I will get a call.
Big Seth, what did you mean by was Wendy like this when she was with you? I've just seen that message in the comments.
I'll catch up
There
with
is
you
one
tomorrow.
situation, but due to the nature of it, it can't be told on here.
But, like, let's keep in touch.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah, I know about all that stuff there, you know, and awareness, and that's, you know, that's a whole nother topic, and that'll be, you know, that's obviously going through things that we can't talk about on here. So, I mean, you know, eventually, I guess at some point in the future, that'll all come out, and you know, you'll see it all in black and white sort of thing. But
I'll be right
you know,
back.
I'm not talking about anything like that, not on live. Oh, it was big love to you. Thank you.
Catch you later, holes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to sort of speak about anything and that, you know, that shouldn't be spoke about, and that's obviously one thing that's massively across the line. You know, I'm not going to mention anything, and I'm not going to get involved. So,
Something needs saying about that.
well, like I said, I don't know what you've heard or who you've heard from today, but you know, it's a subject that's going to sort of end badly if I talk about anything. So, I'm keeping my mouth shut on that one.
No, that's probably best.
Awareness to protect. Feel free to send us a message if you want to chat in private. I mean, anything you send us with regards to the kids, I can always forward on to James. You know, if there's anything to do with safeguarding the kids, obviously James does want to hear about it. Like I said, his number one priority is making sure the kids are safe.
I'm obviously Blake only. You know, if there's anything to do with any of the other kids, then you know that's not my problem. But
no worries. Yeah, I'm going to wrap it up. But like I said, you know, I've seen
awareness. I'm, you know, I've got a feeling I know what you're talking about. But obviously, you know, I wouldn't have a clue who you've been speaking to and what you've been speaking about. So, you know, I'm not going to sort of comment about anything.
Before I do wrap it up, is there anybody that wants to jump up in a box and have a say on Wendy or what else you know of that we're not aware of? Because this is an awareness page, so I'm more than happy for you to put out what you need to put out. I'll give you a few minutes. I'll let you request. I'm not going to send a request out. I'll let you request if you want to come up.
No,
No.
that's fine, Fireblade. That's fine, mate.
Her name's Wendy Williams. There's a few people in here that's doing awarenesses on there at the moment. If anyone has done any like recent videos or anything like that they want me to share, then feel free to tag us in the evidence page in those videos, and I'll happily repost them. I'll happily help out in any way like that.
Okay, you just, you know, I'd rather just go right. You know, it's, you know, we'll sort of end the conversation on the whole fucking thing there. But you know, if people want to know anything, you know, all you got to do is just type a name in the TikTok and things will come up, videos, posts, or whatever. You know, but you know, I'm at the point where I'm like, right, I don't really want to say much more because I don't want things to get much worse than they already probably are going to get. But you know, I think this is, for me, it's been a long time holding all this shit in, and the amount of time that I've been pissed off about things and not said anything that I should have said, and you know, I know that she's not going to be happy, and I get that, but at the same time, I'm fuming about everything that's gone on. And, you know, as a dad, I think I've got every right to be fucking fuming. And, you know, it is what it is. Whatever happens now, happens now. But, like I said, that things are going to happen in the future, and you know, we're in that boat now, and
you're working towards it, and you'll get there. The cleaner said, James, may I do a post supporting you, please, or would you rather not be mentioned at all?
Luscombe, yeah, mate, cheers. You caught my good side.
Did you hear that, James?
Not that I have a good side. No, sorry, what was that?
The cleaner said, James, may I do a post supporting you, please, or would you mind, or would you rather not be mentioned at all?
You know, it's one of them things. I mean, people are going to post what they want anyway, and there's nothing I could do to stop that. But you know, if you're going to make a post, regardless, if you tag, well, just you know, if you mention me in it, you mention me. I'm not fussed. Like, it is what it is. But you know, the idea of today's live wasn't necessarily to out Wendy for things. It was more to clear my name from the shit that people have been slandering me with. You know, I know the you know the title in the live or whatever was, you know, out in Wendy or something, but that was never the actual, you know, idea behind the live. It was more to put my shit across and make, you know, people aware that, you know what, it isn't me.
I mean, we spoke out about what she's done, but yeah.
It's Nuggy. Welcome, Nuggy.
But going forward, I think anyone out...
I guess that's Nathan, yeah?
Yeah, it is Nuggy. We applaud what you're doing, and there's a lot of vulnerable people on here. There's a lot of people that's been scammed. So doing the awareness videos and the lives, it's necessary, and what you're doing, it needs done. And if I can help anybody in any way, then let me know. You can message me on the evidence page. Just make sure that when you're doing it, that you're fact-checking everything and you're posting facts, because when you're going by rumour or hearsay, then it can really mess with somebody. There's a lot of people on this app that will speak up on Joe.
I think she's stopped now, Luscombe, but who knows?
From what I've heard, she's still going on.
I mean, she's told me that she's stopped going live now, so I mean,
No,
I'm not going to know because I'm blocked on every one of her accounts, so I'd never know anyway. So I mean, going by what she's told me, if it's true, then she's stopped going live. So I mean, as far as I know.
There's so many people out there at the minute, James. There's so many lives in a minute showing footage. She's going live to set up new accounts.
No, I get that, you know, and you know, I just wanted to put myself across for, you know, anyone that knows me knows that I'm not like that, and you know, being painted with that same brush, you know, it's upset me, and you know, it's really annoyed me today.
No, you're a good person. You hold your head high. I said there's a lot of people on here that will stand their ground and stand your back. Because, yeah, we know, we've been there from day dot, James. You've proven yourself out time and time again. You're a good man. I mean, you've even spoke out on the Matty situation and what's going on and protected people. Look, you know, we've got that support group for people that went through all that and you helped with them. You've got a good heart, and I've seen you with Blake. I've spoke to you on phone calls with Blake, and that kid adores you. You're a damn good dad. And the situation you're in now, the temporary accommodation, I know I've said it so many times, and it just seems never ending, but it's not permanent. And eventually they will have to house you. And then, you know, you can go forward with what you need to do to ensuring Blake's safety and whatever your plans are. I don't want to say it on here because obviously if she's watching, you do what you got to do. And
you know, given everything that's happened and everything, all the pages that have tagged me in videos and all the videos and the evidence I've seen of things, you know, I've had no fucking choice but to, you know, ring social services myself and speak to people, try and speak to people myself.
Yeah.
So, you know, if things were normal for her and she wasn't on TikTok and she didn't have all these enemies and all people out to get her, there's not a fucking chance that I would try and do anything to try and take Blake away. And I think that's what she needs to understand, is Blake is my sole responsibility, you know, and he's the only thing I give a shit about. And, you know, I can't just sit there and watch everything that's going on and not do anything. Because, you know, say I don't do anything, and then, say 6 months down the line, social services get hold of me and say, you know, if you knew about things that were going on, why have you not said anything?
Exactly.
You know, where does that put me then? It puts me in a fucking sticky situation, and you know, like I said, I would do anything to have Blake every day. I would do anything to see him more often than I do, but you know, it's just right now is not great.
I know, it's frustrating. But like I said, the ones that know you, James, we know you're doing everything you can. And, you know,
Exactly.
that's why we're here right now. We've got your back. We know you're doing it. We know you're a damn good dad. We know you're not a part of the scams. We know what type of person she is. And thank you for jumping up and having your say tonight.
No, it's fine. I was always going to pop up. You know, like I said, I've got nothing to hide myself. So, you know, people want to try and put things on me, then I'm here. You know, I'm here to answer questions and speak about things. Like, you know, the ones that were slagging me down in videos and messages, you know, where are they now? And what have they brought to the table, sort of thing?
Let them post whatever proof they say they've got, because I know full well there's no proof that puts you in any of that, because you've done nothing wrong.
You know, it just pisses me off. Like, there are now videos out there of, you know, somebody making fun of me and taking the piss out of me because of my size and my weight. For what reason? Like, you know, just if you're out here to out somebody, then you're doing it on, you know, the best wishes of other people, sort of thing. You know, why would you go out your way to out someone and, you know, drag someone else down with it, you know, for no apparent reason than just to have a bit of a laugh?
James, if I said to you now, you look absolutely stupid with that blue hair, what would you say to me?
What's that, sorry?
If I said to you right now, you look absolutely stupid with that blue hair, what would you say to me?
I've got brown hair.
Exactly, right? So what everybody's saying to you right now and saying about you, you know is not true. So don't let it affect you.
Sorry,
You
what was
know
it?
the
What was
truth.
it?
Keep doing you and hold your head high.
You're a good man. I was have been.
Sorry, have I missed some comments here?
Oh, the
don't need
cleaner,
to-
the cleaner was asking about
Better.
doing that post. They're saying they're not going to post it unless they've
Yeah,
got
yeah.
permission.
No, Leanne, you don't need to please her. You don't need to please her. Think of yourself once. No, exactly that. And you know, it's, you know, that's my attitude from now. Like, you know, I've been the good guy for fucking God knows how long, and it is what it is. You know, now, you know, I know for a fact that she doesn't listen to a fucking thing I say, like, ever. I've tried to give her advice for the last 15 months to get off fucking TikTok and stop doing what she's doing and, you know, get away from it all. But, you know, she doesn't want to listen to anything I say, ever. You know, I'm blocked on everything, so I can't see anything. So, you know, she just gets about and does her own thing. And, you know, that's, you know, if you want to do those sort of things, do it. But, you know, again, think of the consequences and think of things that are going to happen. But, like, you know, like I said, I've been that guy that just lets people do what they want. And that's, you know, been like that the whole time. But now I'm at the point where I'm just like, you know, for fuck it. Like, I need to say things, I'm going to say them.
Exactly.
But don't let the lies damage your life. Let the truth push you forward. And you know the truth, James. You know you've done no wrong. You've stood up here tonight. You've spoke your truth. You've spoke, you know, what's happened. And there's a lot of people that, you know, spoke up against for you tonight. That we always have your back. We've known you since day dot. We've known you've proved yourself time and time again. Like I said, I've seen there. I've sat with you where you've tried to sort out your benefits, where she scammed you over. I know where you fought to have that time with Blake. I've seen you at your worst as well as your best. You're a good man. You've done no wrong. And whatever it is they've got to post on you, it's going to show nothing. I know that without a shadow of a doubt, because I know you've done nothing wrong. Yeah, they're going to have evidence to prove that you're spending time with Wendy. You've got it.
Yeah, Leanne, sorry, I did miss you, but I did miss your last message. You know, I've just spoken the last like couple of minutes about your last message. I obviously went into detail about that, but yeah, like I said, I've spent too many fucking years being the nice guy, and now, you know, the shoe's on the other foot now. So
As long as it benefits Blake. When you're looking after yourself, that's all that matters, James.
But that's all I care about. You know, whatever she does in her spare time, if, you know, she wants to do whatever she wants to do, crack on and do it. I don't need to know. I don't want to know. Like, I want to be able to move on.
Yeah.
Like, with her attitude and comments and stuff, like, she's completely fucking ruined my other relationship that I had after Wendy, you know, so...
I didn't lose a good guy, nice. Try me and James are fine. Yeah, Wendy's just toxic. I mean, what you need to do now, James, is walk away. No, let them post what they need to post. You know it's not true. They've got nothing to back it up, bar the fact that you've spent time with her, which we all know you've got to do that because she's the mother of your child. For you to see Blake, you're going to have access to Wendy.
No, exactly. And, you know,
Other than
things
that,
need to be said. I've sat on the fence for so fucking long that, you know, all right, everything's come out now, and it probably shouldn't have come out this way, but it, you know, it's out and about now, and, you know, it's going to kick off between me and Wendy, and that's obvious. That's a no-brainer.
Well,
but, you know, it is what it is, and, you know, at some point this was going to happen.
but then this is the bet that she's made. This is down to her doing. There's this drama. She's come on here. She's scammed so many people. She's upset a lot of people. Of course, people are going to do these outings on her and speak out about her and cause all this drama. So if she's not liking what's being said, she needs to step back and take a damn good look in the mirror and make that change to herself, and then people wouldn't be up here speaking bad about her. So she can't hold it against you. You're just up here defending yourself because you've been dragged into her drama.